There's a stereotype that people from China will mess up plurals when speaking English. Why is this? This is because the way that plurality is expressed in Chinese languages is a lot different from English. For instance, in English, we might say we have one apple but two apples, and we add an S to mark that it's a plural form. But when you think about it, the S is kind of redundant because we already know that there's two. It's kind of like we're saying, we have two apple. Oh yeah, and by the way, there's more than one. In Chinese, they wouldn't do this though, so they'd say 2个苹果, which means two apple. And the same thing goes for other counters. So for instance, we would say some apples, but they would just say some apple. But then the English sentences dogs are great or a dog is great are the exact same in Chinese. But when you think about it, the English plural sentence dogs are great doesn't really mean plural. It basically just means if I were presented with a dog right now, it'd be great. And that's basically the exact same thing as what a dog is great means too. So again, it's not like this plural marker is carrying much meaning here. So many languages like Chinese do fine without plurals, and it can seem a little redundant to learn them in English. And that's why it's a common grammatical mistake from people from China who learn English. Well, why does English have this plural S then if I'm acting like it's so useless? Well, first off, it's not entirely redundant because there's definitely situations where it carries more meaning, but even if it were entirely redundant, redundancy can be really useful in a language. So for instance, if you miss part of a sentence, then it can be helpful to have a grammatical feature like plurality reinforced later. Also, something that I left out is that the S sound at the end of a syllable is not phonotactically possible in Chinese, which makes it really hard to pronounce. So it's a combination of learning how to say this sound and when to use it.